Yeah. Oh, nope.
There it is.
Hey, you hit live and then 10 minutes later you go live. Okay, I'm getting it now. Well,
Oh,
happy Wednesday. Oh my goodness, can you believe we just went through, for those in the US, 4th of July and Independence Day. Unbelievable. It's like I blinked and it's daggum July already. So anyway, if you're tuning in, I'm Mike Asherbranner. I am the Redneck Connector and proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business. And this is my co-host today, Dr. Constance Leland of Level Up Academy. Say hello to the people. There you go. And we got new people, so we got to remember they don't know this yet. They don't know the Bart or anything we got going on.
hmm.
So excited. How was your day and week, and how are things going with you, CJ?
Good. I think this year, I mean, it's been difficult, but it is going. And then this week,
50.
inspirational connections
But
all the way
there's
to
something
ugly
else.
again.
There's something else
What?
on Friday too. Maybe we'll wait and tell people what that is. Uh, yeah. Hey,
Oh, yeah, about that. It's Friday. I forgot about
maybe.
that one.
So uh, let's see who's here. Of course, Susanna's here. She's more than just here. She's backstage. So
That's
we got
right.
Susanna coming up, and all right, StreamYard changed all the graphics. Now it looks like clown graphics, and I'm all confused. There it is. So we got you. Yay.
Yeah.
Dr. New. Wow, Dr. New, were you here at lunchtime? That's amazing. Dr. Somebody, Dr. New fell asleep waiting for us. Like, wake up, Dr. New. Good to see you, Dr. New. Homer, world's best VA, keeps us in check. Thank you, Homer. All right. Before we roll the intro video, okay, you sent this to me and I had to put it on the air. What is it? What is this? Who is this and what is going on here?
That's the
What is it?
famous Cheerio. That is my oldest dog right now, English Bulldog. She's turning 7, and my daughter basically put a kimono on her and a matcha because she likes matcha.
Oh, oh, okay. I got to ask. Did you custom make this kimono? Like, who has a kimono this small? Like, is this just me, folks? That's a tiny little kimono. Like, or
She's a cutie. Oh my gosh. But I love Cheerio. She's actually pretty famous. She's on our last book. She's a she's a master. She's my master, really.
oh,
I learned a lot from her.
so it was a tailor made. Like she's high
Mr.
maintenance. Okay,
It's
got it.
Mr. Miyagi, but instead it's a female Mr. Miyagi.
That's funny. That you thought about that for a while. I think it sounds like you did.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
So funny.
let's go ahead and do this. I want folks out there. If you're tuning in and you know somebody, we're going to be talking about. Is this the third year, correct, of the 50
It is the
inspirational?
third year. Yep.
Third year. So last year I got to do it, and this year I have the privilege of being an ambassador. So here's what my best knowledge. I'm going to say this a lot, like a little redneck parrot. Um, don't be modest. Don't be modest. It's not modesty time. Oh, I don't want to put myself out there. Blah blah. That's not business talk. Don't be. You put yourself out and nominate you, your friend, somebody doing high level things, right? Yeah, again, folks, you got a Picasso in the cave with the lights off. Is it valuable? Well, we'll answer that when we come back. Let's roll this intro and leave them hanging. How about that?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm in rare form. Buckle up, folks.
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Asherbranner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
All right. Oh, look. Hey, y'all. Before we get going, look. Yeah, I was there at lunchtime. What'd you eat? So we're going to talk about the 50 inspirational. We're going to talk about how that can help you or someone you know or both. And we're going to pretty much just aggravate Dr. New now about it. So what did you eat for lunch? Start with the entree. All right. And let's pull up Susanna because she is also an ambassador. And and they didn't get to make it. We had some emergencies, things come up, but we have two other ambassadors. So if you want to start with the ambassadors and give them a little shout out intro, it's however you want. Go ahead.
Yes. So actually, we have 5. I cover myself in this picture, but Zion has his own community. He was also 50 Inspirational Connections nominee last year. Marlene was also one. And then, of course, you, and then, of course, Susanna. Susanna was actually 2 times ambassador. Some people actually were asking, like, how do we become an ambassador for 50 Inspirational Connections? And you have to be nominated within and accepted within the 50 Inspirational Connections. And then next year, you can possibly be an ambassador. But to be doing that, you have to show up for Level Up for the next 12 months. Literally, not just like show up once a year. Tag us, comments, follow, collaborate on any projects. And it doesn't have to be every single day, but at least once a month, kind of collaborate, or at least tag us in comments. And you have to be doing something for your community, because this is a community movement to inspire others to keep going no matter what, especially if you own a business. If you don't have a business, but you are doing something that for your community, but it's not something that you get paid for, like you just love doing it, please nominate yourself so we can inspire others to do it as well.
Okay. I'm going to time out. I'm going to do what you do to us. All right. So you ready? Hope you're ready. Hope you had a good nap. All right. What inspired you, Dr. CJ? What inspired you one day? Were you in the hammock? Were you taking a walk? Did a birdie tell you? Why did you come up with this? Because I haven't seen this before you. Was there an inspiration internally, externally, both? Like, what prompted this 3 years ago? And now it's catching on.
It's my podcast. When I was doing my podcast, I do one person at a time. And it would take you, a year to hit 50 people, right? If you do one podcast, maybe you can hit 12 in a year if you do one once a month, right? Now, I was sitting there and I said, there are people who are very grateful in their feedback saying, hey, CJ, this is really cool. This is like honestly amazing for you to do that. And I didn't have that many following like 3 years ago. And so I just did it to actually create a movement and camaraderie within the community to hit each other up, saying, hey guys, this is so cool, let's do it together. And what really started is that feeling of community and collaboration. And I wanted to use my platform while I was actually doing a momentum to hit 50 all at once instead of 50 for 2 years. And the first year we had like 60 people and it was so hard to pick. And so I needed like help from somebody, and somebody like helped me. And then in the second year, I'm like, you know what? I need an ambassador. And so I did it. And I learned something last year about the people who are not so nice about it and, started whatever. I'm like, okay, this year I'm going to do it differently because it's not about me. It's about community and collaboration and highlighting people who's usually not highlighted. And we have people like 50 followers that were in there because it's not about followership. It's about how you are giving back to your community and how you stay inspired.
Yeah, that's a key point. This is not about, and again, no judgment here, folks, but we're not talking about, numbers, right? Like follower counts on LinkedIn or any other thing. That's great. But what are you doing with those things, right? Like, so are you impacting people? And again, not preaching. You get to define success for yourself. But you, Dr. CJ, that's what you were thinking. Here's how I put it, and you can fix this. If remember the question I asked before the intro, folks, if you have a Picasso in a cave with the lights off, is it valuable? And before I go and talk, I want to see if Boz got it, because if anybody answered that shit right, or if anybody answered that right, it was Boz. All right, so you wanted to spotlight folks that were doing extraordinary things, right? Good things, big things, and the Level Up Academy and the Hounds, man. That's all we've got. We got people who are sleeping in their cars, right? Like it's miraculous. People who built from passion and somebody took it from them and then they're building it again. These kind of things are really, was that kind of what you thought? Is like, hey, I want to level the playing field. I want to give the little guy or whatever, right? The nobodies or whatever that we're kind of framed in or boxed in, like Susanna would say. I want to give them a hand up. Is that part of the narrative inside? And And also, where does that come from on the surface? Like, not to get all like philosophical, but what you always have you always had a knack to push up others, or was that something that was acquired? Because you don't have to put that in your business model. You did.
Yeah, no. What happens is just around me, just the people around me, like Susanna or Danielle, we have so many things, or even the hounds, we have so many things that we do that are so amazing, but we never get a chance to go on a bigger platform to really elevate yourself because everybody will label you as a narcissist if you talk about yourself or talk about your accomplishments. I wanted to be a rebel with a cause, right? I wanted to say, you know what? No, the status quo is wrong. Talking about yourself and tooting your own horn is not really wrong. It's
No.
just we are actually set up. If you think about it, we're set up to pay for somebody else to talk about us when they don't really know who we are. But people get to curate who you are based on their questions. So why not use your own narrative, take back your power, and define who you are rather than pay somebody else to curate who you are? That doesn't make sense. And so that's why I created that platform.
Right. Well, because one of the things that sticks out to me about you and Level Up, and really, is easy to see in the 50 inspirational connections, is affordability and accessibility. Right. We forget a lot of people are bootstrapping. A lot of people they have dirt like me. Right. Like you can't even burn dirt. So when you create something from nothing, anything can help launch you. I'm amazed, and I want y'all's input. We'll get it, Susanna. I'm amazed every day now because we're not where we started. We're not where we were 3 years ago. Plus, I sure ain't. It's wild. But what's interesting is my reaction is to lean in. Like, in other words, because I didn't have much, right? We created this and we evolved this together in the hounds. But the greatest joy is to see other people. Like, for example, like Tanya, Tanya Eberhardt did that to me, right? As well as you all. But she just called me up one day, saw value in me, and just went there. And she didn't have to do that, right? But that right there, she probably never understood where that would take us. Like, look now, 2 years later, right? Mind blowing, the compound effect, right? And what am I doing with that? Two things: sending people who need her to her, right? So she didn't ask me to do that. That's what I do because I see her value. And then what does she do? She helped me accelerate. And that's what I'm telling folks. This is what the deeper meaning behind the 50 inspirational. It's not just putting your face up there and going nice and then forget about it. You're forming the bonds, forming the connections. So Susanna, let me ask you, as the ambassador and been involved with this from the beginning, what is it that appealed to you the most? Like, what was when you heard the idea, what made you go yay instead of, oh, that's goofy? Like, what was going on with you when she shared that with you first time?
Well, the first time, which basically I had to apply and she had to twist my arm, but it was just the fact that she is there to level others up. And it's not looking for the golden children that are supposedly out there on LinkedIn, not going after the big people, the big names, or those with the huge followings to say, this is who I want to lift you guys up, because there's nothing to lift up. They got enough. They've got so many. And like she said, you've got the others who they don't necessarily have a lot of following, but they have a story. And then going into the last 2 years in terms of the ambassador, it's also the understanding that just applying, because there's only 50. So let's say 250 people apply. That means 200 people won't be in the 50. That doesn't mean they're not going to get lifted up from applying, because there still could be opportunities where they end up on her live stream, or maybe she connects them to one of us and they end up popping into our live stream. Maybe they become in the hounds and join something there. It opens a door for everybody who applies in various different ways, and just look at the different ways it can do. Hopefully it opens a door for each person the way it needs to be open for them.
That was well said. It reminded me, CJ, I want to kick this back to you. I can't count, honestly. I can't even count with a calculator how many times I was felt let down. Like here recently, Like I get these huge opportunities with these highest rollers I've ever seen. I'm thinking, wow, my ship came in and I'm disappointed. However, after the journey, after the fact, I go, wow, that wasn't meant for me to get. I wasn't supposed to partner with this thing. What I was supposed to do was learn the lesson, right? And so think about it. Let's say you don't get in, there's opportunities that will come because you applied, because you asked, because you got on the radar, right? Maybe you pop into the live streams, maybe you pop into the group calls for the hounds, right? So don't look at that as rejection. Look at that for what it truly is, opportunity in disguise, right? What do you think, CJ? And then I'll have you go into the 50 and then we'll talk a little deeper dive into it.
Yeah, it's a redirection. There's really no rejection. It's not a rejection. Don't take it as a rejection. What I want people to say, just like what I said last year, if you don't get into the 50 inspirational connections nominated, right, is not because you are bad or you're not good enough or don't start with that. It just means that your effort that you're trying to do, maybe you have to think about alignment. Maybe other people like myself don't see that you're actually doing anything for your community yet, right? Because it's all about community movement. It's all about collaboration. So you might be inspirational on what you're doing, but it's not visible yet. And we want to inspire the world. We're not talking just here on LinkedIn. We're talking entire social media, guys. We're talking TikTok. We're talking, Facebook. We're talking Instagram, right? We're talking YouTube. We're talking on all social media. So that is your opportunity to be everywhere, to be seen. Now, what is to be seen if you're not doing anything, right? And also think, when I do that, it's also my reputation on the line, not just your reputation, right? We're dragging everybody at the same time up, not down. So when you don't get in, that doesn't mean that you're not good enough. That doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. It just means you need to keep doing more. That's all.
And before we deep dive or go over it, maybe you have work to do. Don't take that bad. Don't, I stink. No, you just need a little dialing in. Again, if I was, Tanya didn't reach out and say I stunk. Tanya said right track, wrong train, in my opinion. That's what it was like. Wow, did you see that? Did that really say redneck financial coach? You got to be kidding. Had a little crappy bucket hat on. I didn't have the fancy one, man. And yeah, this is fancy if you're wondering. But think about that. That led to a lot of things. Just because I popped up on, I think it was Russ Hedge. I made a comment, she lost it, and look what's happened. Right? Look at all this. And the same thing with me and CJ, right? Because I'll stop here and I want you all to chime in. Here, folks, we're paying this. We're not just telling stories. We're helping you draw the conclusion. Because a lot of you out there stuck and you don't want to admit it and you might not want to know it. And we've been here. So we're just sharing it. Like the bridge is out. Yeah, we drove off of it 15 times. We're telling you there's a better way. But I think about this, you never know the impact that you can make on people. So when somebody comes to you and says, hey, let me help you or let me do something, that only happens when you put yourself out there. Courage before confidence. I didn't have courage. Everybody else is like, well, how'd you have the confidence to do this? Are you kidding me? I had courage to look like a donkey. And in fact, what I don't tell people is the first time I let myself out, because that one person, right? There you go. When you meet that one person and they say, why don't you consider this? Why haven't you done that? Why haven't you wrote this book? You're like, right? Same thing. So when that happened, I actually got beat up on a live stream. That's what people don't know. I got beat up. I came in and got beat up in my bucket hat. Tell you, everything I wanted to do was to quit. I wanted to leave. I didn't. I showed up again. And now here we are. And the same thing with CJ. Somebody said, hey, go check out CJ. I said, oh, she only got 2,000 followers. Everybody else went. And then it dawned on me. I said, you don't think there's high-powered CEOs on here with 90 connections? You go check it out. So what I'm saying is I want you all to look at this not as a competition. Don't look at it as I'm win or lose and all that stuff that we're conditioned. Look at it as I got an opportunity. Who the hell knows what? But I got an opportunity to meet, learn, grow, share. If I get rejected, I'll get rejected. Maybe I need a little humility, whatever. But if you frame this the right way, it'll be beneficial. And that's the same thing with life. So before I get really philosophical and chase everyone out, go. All right, Susanna, what do you think on that? Because we're talking about the things that stop people from moving forward, and pride and self-doubt is a big one.
Well, and that's the reason why a lot of people don't apply. They have the purpose, they have the motivation, but they don't have the self-confidence. They don't have the full belief in themselves that to put themselves out there can open doors. I mean, yeah, you are on LinkedIn for a reason, but sometimes the whole idea of to be on LinkedIn is hoping that somebody will see you instead of putting yourself out there to be seen. And that's one of the things I love about 50 Inspirational is when you do take that leap of faith, things can happen that you'd never expect, and actually will do more for you than the sit, wait, and see approach.
That's your cue. When the picture goes big and I don't say anything, I look, she ain't never seen me not say nothing. That's what the problem. So, but what's your thought on that? If you have any, if not, I've got, because right this moment, you don't need to have confidence. Right this moment, you don't need to be polished. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to be anything. That's the misnomer. Well, I got to get this. I got to get the speech right. I got to just show up. Show up. Who are you to tell me? Look, that's what I did. Just show up. Just show up and go hee haw and see what happens. Because most people went, oh, this guy's stupid, and then great people went otherwise. That's what, and this is a safe place. So, when it comes to this, the heart and soul, my perspective as the ambassador, you're the creator, but that's what I'm about. I'm about essentially the people who just, something inside of them. They don't want to be the guru. They don't want to just be a student and buy people's courses and do all this stuff. They want to be that person because that's the only way they're going to go out there and change the daggone world. Like that was my thing. Like I don't want to just be okay. I don't want to just be a good speaker. You see Tony, how do I get there in my own way, in my own voice? Because that's how I'm going to change the world. I ain't going to change it one little thing at a time. And these are launching pads for this. We're not saying that you're going to be Tony Robbins tomorrow if you do this. But we're saying, listen, you ain't going to probably do it if you don't have the mindset to do things like this. What do you think?
I love that. I was actually thinking when you guys were talking, and I'm definitely say that I am a growth ambassador because you don't grow and you don't actually change unless you're uncomfortable. Because if you're staying on what's comfortable, you're not growing. Growth is painful. Growth is not always happy. Growth is sometimes exciting, and you have heart palpitations like, oh, but what if people say something, or what if I don't get in, or so all that what ifs. But what if you do, right? Can you handle that? That's the thing. It's like, no, maybe I can't. That's okay. Keep going anyway, because you never know, right? And so for me, it's like show up as a hope for voice and power, and that is where you're growing, is when you're uncomfortable. So if this is something that kind of percolates in your brain and you're like, oh, this is exciting, but I don't know, that is when you actually need to jump in and just try. That's what I definitely will push for.
Oh yeah, dadgum straight. And so before we get into, because I want people here, and I want you to go through the slide. And absolutely, and if you don't want to, then nominate some other great person. Like that's the thing. We're going to show you how in a second. Before we do, I saw two guys in here that I want to give a shout out because they're doing special things, and that's what we do here. All right, not just the 50. That's what we do. Any opportunity we get, dadgummit. So there was Dr. Jeff. There he is. Man, that guy is everywhere. So we're going to give Jeff shout out. Scan the QR code. Listen, Jeff is in digital currency, digital real estate, and oh my goodness gracious, I cannot believe that, and I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying I have my own style. I like educators. I like non-pushy people. And I like folks that have patience and put my best interest first. So finally, there you go. There's Jeff. It took me forever, but thank you, Jeff. So again, if you're looking for information, not sales pitches and goofiness, if you're looking for information because you're curious about blockchain, you're curious about all these different things coming out, there you go. You come in, you sit down, you ask questions if you want to, you can hide if you want to, and Dr. Jeff doesn't bother people. Sound familiar? Yeah. So thank you, Jeff, for doing this because it's opened my eyes. I love what I see. I finally took steps, and I like people who help me, not beat me over the head with crappy sales pitches. So thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I'm being facetious, but yeah, that's all I got until I met Jeff. And Jeff grinds. Jeff works hard. Jeff went through droughts, and he never gave up. And now I hear like once a week, twice a week, somebody's excited to work with Jeff. Like, it's amazing. So again, all them naysayers, all them doubting, all that stuff that you tell yourself, all right, look, it's happening, folks. Right. And then ask Jeff, hey, do you see yourself doing this? Let him answer. I'm not going to speak for Jeff, but thank you, Jeff, for being you. And one more big shout out here. Let me see. Don't blink. There it is. Mr. Baz. I call him Boz because, I'm a hillbilly. He's proper, UK, great man. And I've had a lot of coaches, a lot of patient people, a lot of good support from you ladies as well. This guy, I've actually tried to crash him like Windows 95 because I just couldn't believe that somebody can be this good at it. And he ended up helping me anyway. So there you go. You impressed me because it takes a lot nowadays. But Boz really is great, and he likes to help women really get over all the things that are keeping them back. And the stuff, we're not talking about the surface level stuff like self-doubt. We're talking about the real stuff that you can't even put words to. But he also helps rednecks. It's just not his jam. So if you're a professional, if you're a high-driven value woman out there, you're ambitious, you're doing things, but you're human and life happens. Hey, he's got assessments. He's got all kind of stuff. Go to his website, scan this. And the reason I'm shouting him out is because he helped me. There's a lot of people that can help. There's only a few I put on my daggum show, right? Because he's proven it. So thank you, Baz, for doing this. Thank you for being in the Hounds, and thank you for. And you know what he did? He didn't come in and sales pitch everybody. He came in and gave value. He loved on people. He supported people. Then he got opportunities. Then he got to tell people. Then he got to show us when we said, "Oh, this sucks," and he went through a process with us. Wow, way better than just throwing out a bunch of emails and DMs and bothering people, right? And think about this, folks. Even if you're doing it with the right heart and you send out 50 DMs, or you send out a DM, the people on the other end of the screen, you can't distinguish his DM from the other stupid 50 DMs. So this is why we're talking about this, because we are bug zapping. He come in and now he is making it happen. Farming, love on the people, cultivate the ecosystem, bring value, and boom, there we are. We can't stop talking about it. And then we got we're good now. So now you can talk about the 50 Inspirational. Michelle is here. Lisa Frederick is here. Michelle Smith. See, she got through the back door twice, and that was April Wyatt. I'm on the Wolfpack networking. Y'all were there. Well, and I'm like, wait a minute, is she even in the Hounds? I was like, well, how did you get in here? He's like, oh, April opened the back door. I said, well, there you go. I mean, and so then the next thing I know, Jeff did it. And guess what? People just saw us, and now they're in the Hounds. It's crazy. So as the Hounds evolves, man, the opportunity is going to be bigger, 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 because it's not just us. We're like Dr. X. We got Pantheon, we got Level Up, Global Tea Breaks coming around the corner. Phil the Connector, Harrington Connector Community is onboarding this week. Holy cow. Like, we're doing everything we can to make sure you folks have the people, resources, and support, internal, external, to make this happen. And that's why I'm so happy to be at 50 Inspirational, because this is where it can start for you. So now that I got my PBS special out the way, but dadgummit, listen, it's true. And I'm not preaching. I know how it is. I know the pain. I know the long hours. I know all this stuff. Right? Don't do it alone. So CJ, on that note, guide us through and say beep or whatever you like to do in college, because I'm controlling your slides. So there you go. Walk the folks out here. Walk Michelle through this. Walk all these people. Lisa, how do we engage? So you can go ahead, because not everybody was here. Give us the skivvy and then tell us how we can engage, nominate ourselves and others. Yeah.
I'm muted. I'm mute by design. Okay, that's a strategy.
Oh, I thought we were doing mom impression. My bad. Go ahead.
No, we're unmuting by strategy. So basically, this year it's a little bit different. We actually are going to get to 50 inspirational already. I'm actually sending the email as we speak right now. I was sending the email to the people. I've been looking at their community. And also, really, what you do is you go to levelupwithdoc.com. There's a Google form. You just submit your information, wait for my email. That's step one. Step two really is go ahead and create your video. There will be a video. You don't really get to do the video until you get that email. There's no point of creating a video if you don't get the email. And then that video will get featured in our YouTube channel. And basically you'll live there forever as an inspirational connections, right, on social media this year. And then we're going to have a voting towards the end, maybe like around October, right, December, on top 5, and we'll have cash prices for you from like $10 all the way to $100, really. So it's going to be that. Susanna and I were actually thinking of even creating a 50 inspirational anthology. And that alone is $500 per person. But instead of putting your name as the author, you're just going to create a story about yourself, but you're not going to put your name on it. So it's going to be like a little, what is that? Soup for the kitchen or soup? Soul for the kitchen. That's it. Like, I can't even think of it. Kind of like that, like inspirational stories, but nobody knows who the authors are. And we're going to put all the author's name at the end, and you get to like literally play with us, right? While you're reading, you play with us and said, okay, is it me? Is it Susanna's story, or is it Mike's story? Whoever is in the story, right? Within that book. And then it's kind of like Easter egg, like in a movie, but we're actually doing Easter egg in a book. That's my goal, is to have fun throughout the entire time, throughout the process of 50 Inspirational. But you get to write a story within that anthology, but nobody knows who you are. And you're like, CJ, how do you know who it's just going to be a fun thing for you to do. And it's automatically $500 just for that. You're going to be featured, obviously, on our podcast. Also, you're going to be featured on our live stream, Susanna, myself, and of course the hounds. And you have the opportunity to meet other people that we curated, right? We want to say, yes, we are kind of inclusive, but not really, because we want to have people who are not mama drama. We're serious about business. We're serious about growth. And we want to repel those people who are here just to kind of lurky. If you're ready, you're ready to be nice, you're ready to be compassionate, you're ready to get help and give help, then we're ready for you. But if you're just kind of like this, not the community for you right now, right? Because we're trying to grow at the same time. So there's so many opportunities just by applying for this. And it will be you're going to be overwhelmed with so much positivity, and you're like, I don't know what to do first. It's okay. Just jump in whatever that's in front of you.
Yeah, no, I love what you said there. It's simple. Just take the steps. What happens? We'll find out. But I'll tell you what happens if you don't step. Nothing. All right. And again, you're talking to the dude who made all the mistakes 16 times. I'm not bragging. That's nothing to brag about. But I want to inspire. I want to encourage. I want to say, look, you're good enough. Now, you're not realized it yet, right? We'll do our best to help you. But if you're courageous enough to walk through this door, then fine. And then look, what if it doesn't work out? Well, I'll walk you somewhere that is a better fit, because I don't want you, and people say this, but we don't want you to waste time and money. That's why I give out the free guide, right? That's why I give my free guide. I'm like, listen, if you do this guide and it stinks, then you know not to bother with me, right? But if you see value and you see the needle move, maybe you're onto something. Maybe this is true value, not just, selling things, right? These kind of things is what makes us us. So, Susanna, you want anything to add? Because I love what you talked about. CJ just talked about, who we are. So, like, what's it mean? Like, it's not that we're better or worse, but business with heart is an understatement to me. like you know how people say it's not personal, it's just business. Man, nothing could be farther from the truth, in my opinion. And we've proven that to be a profitable model, right? Well, you don't want to get too close to your coworkers. Well, oops, too late for that, you know. And so that's what we have an ecosystem that keeps that stuff in check, right? That's why it works, because we want it to work, and we have a system that makes that work, and it's profitable and it's fun, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So what do you think, Suzanne?
But when you're talking about that, and you're right. I mean, a lot of this, you really can't say that the decisions aren't personal, because it's always going to affect somebody, and it's going to come across personal no matter what. I'll also take it to the term that CJ has started. Oh, what? I think it was earlier this year or the end of last year, where, I mean, everybody talks about things being heart-centered, and what I love, and we start seeing this in different people, those who are soul-hearted. So we're taking it to that next level of not that you have people saying that they're heart-centered or trying to say somebody's heart-centered, and then you start seeing what's going on, and it doesn't, the words aren't quite matching. When the words match, when their actions and their words align, that's really when they become soul-hearted. And we start seeing those people, those groups. It also kind of changes the dynamic around whether it's personal or not, because if you're soul-hearted, you know that it's personal, and you just have to know how to talk with other people. That's what I love about seeing how those, especially those people, are getting more and more into, you see them more. You just want to find that way to highlight them more. And when you talk about some of the people that are in the audience, I mean, Baz is the one I know the most, and he is, without a doubt, soul-hearted. I can't see him any other way than that. And what he says, what he does, it aligns all the time. And that's what we see within the Hounds as well. When you start seeing the collaborations that pop up together, and you start seeing April is one of the most soul-hearted people I've ever known.
Oh, anytime you say April, we gotta say Tomo. That's what we're doing now until October. It's going to be a long couple months.
Wait, show her Tomo. Go for it.
Yeah,
really quickly.
Really quick. This lady,
Yeah.
all right. So I asked her, I said, wow, how do you do these amazing international stuff? And she's like, I don't know, I just do it. I'm like, okay, we got to reverse engineer this, because a lot of folks are doing a whole lot of retreats and things. And I'm like, dude, they're bleeding 50% of their sales and time and money and impact because they're not you. So anyway, there she is. That's the queen of it. And Tomo Tour, I'm like, scan the QR code, go to April Wyatt, WYETT. Check out the post, check out her LinkedIn, her YouTube, livingwithintention.co. Livingwithintention.co is her website. So go find this. There's nobody that comes out of this thing. Like, she don't have to ask for testimonials. They just blast them all over the place. That's how you know it's good. When you don't ask nobody, they're just blasting it. Right? That's, you know, you struck it. So I love it. It's real. It's authentic. And ladies, if you're out there looking for this, you know, relaxation, you're, again, high professional, ambitious, you got a lot of stress, probably a family, probably a couple of careers, like, this is for you. All right. So go check it out. Go and get the info. Worst case, share it with some other person, some other lady who really could use this. You won't be sorry. This is one of the best people, most skillful, but also the most, she cares. And that's the difference. It's not, hey, in service-based professionals, that's what we are. Right? You can sell trinkets on Amazon. You maybe don't need a hug. I mean, you know, maybe you don't need all this. You know, it's okay. You're an auto mechanic. You probably don't need this. But if you are building a business that impacts people from your knowledge, your heart, this is where we need to start, right? And this is why we exist, because I know what it's like to feel like you're not good enough. I know what it's like to do all this. I know what it's like to be big time and not have the status and not have anything that somebody who could help doesn't help. And it doesn't make them bad. There's 8 billion people in the world. Tony can't sit around and help everybody individually, right? So that's what the vision is. What if we What if we help people with the internal state, right? Because there's nothing wrong with you. Other people just better hiding it than you are. But we helped each other with that. But then we didn't stop there. Then we had an ecosystem and we had offerings and we had businesses and we had support and events that would make it possible. So instead of getting y'all excited about, hey, I got something that I can build a business and throwing you out to the wolves to figure it out yourself, start here, try it here, move out. I mean, we've got people in the Hounds, folks, and 50 Inspirational. We don't see them anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. That's because then they pop in and they send referrals and they give testimonies. They say thank you and they go back and change the world. That's what they're supposed to do, right? I hope they stay. Most of them do. But great. So my point is not about us. And that's the biggest takeaway is this is not about us. We are blessed to have a platform to grow our businesses. We're not done yet. But what about you? And that's what I love about it. We got people like Baz and all these folks. Good for us. Great. But you know what? I'm going to reach back and pull somebody with me, just like CJ did, just like Tanya did, right? It's amazing to think that, yes, you not only can learn from these people, you could be like them. You should, right? You're here for a reason, right? So if you're trying to suppress your dreams just because they're annoying and you don't believe in yourself, let me tell you something. It's going to get worse, not better. You better pull that out. You better pull your head out of the sand and start taking action, whether it's this or not. This is just one step. Take some step. But for the Hounds and friends of the Hounds, Michelle, folks in the comments, I like to see this. I might nominate you just to be aggravating, just to do it because I believe in you guys. Or if you don't maybe hit the qualification, then plan, right? You know April Wyatt, right? Like push people up. I'm telling you, man, you'll get so much more from pushing other people up than you will trying to push up yourself all the time. Do both. That's my philosophy now. I push me up. Boy, you go out there and love on somebody like CJ, Tanya, and Susanna, Boz, Jeff. It's like rattling a bag of dog treats. The dog comes running you can't do something good for me. And I'm like, hey, I got opportunity to give it back because that's who we are. And that's who I want to do business with. I'm not trying to get on a soapbox. I just want to make sure y'all walk away from this going, I am somebody, dadgummit. Maybe I'm not realized it yet, but I am. So I can be somebody. And all the crap that I went through that I might be ashamed of, that's exactly why people will show up to your course. That's exactly why they'll hire you to speak. Not just because you're a technically good speaker, because you got heart, you got experience, and they don't want to go through that. You got a solution to what keeps them up at night, what makes them cry when nobody's looking. Oh, we're deep tonight. You better believe it because we see.
Well, let me say one real quick thing for Baz. Baz, it's soul-hearted, SOUL, because I saw a comment. So it's you're doing everything from your soul, not just
That's right.
being heart-centered. And that's CJ can take it from there as well as go back into the rest of this.
Oh yeah, no, the reason I said that is because we see a lot of people, actually Susanna and I've seen a lot of people that are very heart-centered. They care about community, they care about other people, and they do it even while they're going through their own things, right? That's pretty much everyone at heart-centered. What differentiates somebody from being heart-centered and soul-hearted is that your passion for helping others, you could see it, that it's part of your mission and your purpose. Like there is a difference between being a flip-flop kind of person because you're kind and you're nice and everybody's kind of nice, right? Versus somebody who's really there for somebody without regard sometimes on the time that they spent. And we need boundaries at that point, really, right? And that's how we learn to create boundaries as we reflect in our journey of, yes, we're definitely soul-hearted, more than heart-centered, but we can't just be like, oh my God, I'm soul-hearted, I'm going to give everything for free, which we did. But now we're like, okay, we learn boundaries so that we can grow from there. And that is the difference between the two. Susanna and I do have to go in 5 minutes. So let me go do it very quickly. So in here, Mike, if you want to go back one more. So yeah. So right here, guys, there are 5 things that you're going to get once you get the email. You can be in the magazine feature. We have 2 more magazines, actually 3. Right now it's on hold. Magazine feature. And also the anthology spots you can get in for free. You also get the Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. and then podcast coverage. Now, my podcast really, I know it sounds so like blasé because everybody has a podcast nowadays. I'm going to toot my own horn for a bit. So my podcast is about 155 countries and 6 continents, right? And nations and countries. And I get awards from like aggregators like FeedSpots, right? I'm top 38 out of 80 on higher education podcasts. And that's about 40 million listeners. Okay. And my distribution channels, some people have a podcast like I'm on Spotify. CJ is on every distribution channel. Even the people that you don't know, like had a podcast, that's where I'm at. That means that your voice gets amplified even more. And that's why I curate what you have said in the past and what you're going to see right now within the community. Because once I put you up there, it's my reputation that's also on the line, right? So that's why I want to see what are you doing for your communities currently in the last 3 to 6 months that's helping others, right? I'm not gonna go 20 years ago what you did. I'm talking 3 to 6 months because this is where the growth happens, like right now, what you're doing. So keep doing what you're doing in terms of community building, and also while you're building yourself. But that's where the podcast and the magazines are coming from, and getting amplified that way.
Wonderful. And I know you ladies have to run and go teach and help people. But Baz said, business is always personal at some level. And so somebody had said that one time. Y'all want to hear this? I'm going to tell you. And I was like, well, have you ever heard of the proctologist? It's kind of personal. It's like, well, you can't be insensitive. Bedside manner probably not going to work good for that one. And in the financial industry, right? Everybody forgets. I'm a fiduciary. I love helping people, even people that you normally can't access. You can't get access to somebody like me. I love that. But it's personal. It's especially in the U.S. We don't like to talk about it. So in these, like I said, Boz, in the service-based professional, it's very personal. But it doesn't have to get messy. I think when people say it's personal, they go, well, no. If you're mature, it ain't. But I sidetracked the squirrel a little bit. Let's get back before you ladies have to go. I think we highlighted this. So what is the process? Did I get the website right? Levelupbydoc.com.
Level Up with Doc. WITH. Levelupwithdoc.com. So the process, you just do it. You just apply. Let me figure out a little bit, couple of days, give me a couple of weeks to kind of look at it. Watch for that email. Look your spam. I might be on your spam. And once you get that email, that means you're already in on the 50 Inspirational Connections. You'll get a badge also, just like the ambassador. You'll get this badge right here. The white badge that you'll see, that is your badge once you become a 50 Inspirational Connections. Then you create a video, 3 to 5 minutes. The video is due by end of August. So make sure that you have your 3 to 5 minutes video. Once you are creating that video, wait for another email because I'll give you a Google Drive that you can drop your video in, okay? Or you can email it to me, doesn't matter. Just reply to that email. And then once your video is done, wait a couple more weeks and you'll get a official certificate from Level Up that you are part of the 50 Inspirational Connections, and you can share it pretty much on everywhere. And that's when the drip of the campaign goes full blown, meaning like you're going to see yourself on Instagram. You might see yourself on my live. I do live on TikTok. Usually I do beauty products, but I'm going to do 50 Inspirational on there. Also, I go live on Instagram. You're going to go on 50 Inspirational from there. And then there is a YouTube series solely only for 50 Inspirational Connections. So, yes.
All right. I know you ladies have to go teach, and I want to keep you, but that's just rude. So that people don't leave, I'm going to show you for such a time as this. I'm going to show you the clip if you missed it from a couple weeks ago. Kevin Smith, Kindness Worldwide. It's a movement. It's not a just feel good movement. This is changing the way governments and business do things, communities. All right. No, kindness actually improved the rate of return. It made property values go up because crime rates went down. Now, if you're a city or a municipality, you're going to have to either do two things: incorporate this or make an excuse of why you're not. So, bye, ladies. Thank you so much for the 50 Inspirationals. Yeah. Thank you for all you do. Go teach.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, 9 a.m. Bye.
Bye.
PST. See, I told you the world works on New York City time. All right, folks. So before we close out, just want to let you know, you, friends, people people you met, people you vibe with in business, whatever. No strays out there. That's what the Hounds of Business is. If you're willing to go through all this stuff to build a business and leave a legacy, we're there for you. We're not the only option, but we are an option. All right. So, and you're not just getting the Hounds. This is not to get into a soapbox, but if we see good people and good things and things that are valuable, right, with people who align with our values and our mission and what we're all about, then we don't compete, right? We go out and collaborate. So feel the connector, connect your community. That's complementary, right? So they got a lot of great stuff, and why would we duplicate it? So 2 things, folks. Test drive us, all right? Go to my profile on LinkedIn. You can go on here on YouTube. I'll put the group call link in there. Go check it out. If it's not for you, probably could be life-changing and business-changing for someone else. And number 2, there ain't nothing wrong with you, folks. You're talking to a dude in a camo hat living a dream, all right? And I'm living it because, you know what? If I was the only one that felt like I did and struggled the way I did in life and business, then I would just be some weirdo taking a walk. There would be none of this, right? I'm not. And that's why we're filling up. So we want to be happy, not just business people, not just money. We want to have harmony. We want to have purpose, and dadgummit, we're here to leave legacy. All right. So if that inspires you, if that relates to you, if you're like, wow, that sounds different, I don't know if I heard that before, then check it out. You're going to know if it's for you or not. And if it's not, you're going to find what you probably need to be looking for. And if it is, welcome home. So folks, send me a DM, send somebody in the chat a DM, and take action. Apply or nominate someone for this 50 Inspirational. We are looking for diamonds in the rough. All right. That's right. Diamonds in the rough. They're hidden. They're buried. Pull them out. Mine this thing. Get them out here. All right. I love nothing more. Yeah, I love working with people who are already successful, but I'll never want to lose this. Nothing is more rewarding than helping somebody come up. Somebody that you see that's like, wow, man, you know, we believe in you. You got the heart. This can really impact the lives, right? 1, 2, a million. That's who we're looking for. Is that clear? Boz, I know you're out there. I think this is clear. So I'm not going to beat the dead horse. I just want you guys to know we're not perfect, but we have your best interest at heart. Times are getting tougher. Lead gen is drying up. Traditional methods are not working. All right. You got us. You got all kinds of resources, high-level professionals, communities, tools that fit us, not the other way around. So check us out. I don't need anything. I'd rather risk looking salesy and get the message out than not say it, because it is absolutely life-changing, folks. So appreciate you. And yeah, big dogs, I appreciate you all as well. And we're going to be back next week, same time, all right, 7 p.m. New York City Eastern time, CJ, because, you know, I'm going to get West Coast hate mail. It's all right. I love all of y'all people. So thank you for tuning in. I can't wait to see you on this. And just keep taking steps. That's it. Little baby steps. Put on the camo hat, got beat up, did it again. The rest is history. Write your story. It's being written. Let's do it right. Be good, folks. See you on the next one. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.
Every moment matters. Every interaction is an opportunity to be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people. The universe has its ways of manifesting magic at a time of its choosing. That time was 9:57 a.m. on Good Friday morning, 2023. For such a time as this is the endearing story of 2 strangers whose lives were forever changed through fate and circumstances, and a simple act of kindness. One act of kindness was the ripple to become a wave that will touch and uplift the hearts of all. A mere desire to say thank you in a more meaningful way became an adventure of a lifetime, and so much more. Pathways miraculously opened to make a meaningful difference and turn a moment into a movement to change the world through kindness and inspire kindness worldwide. With passion and purpose and an unwavering belief in the heart of a community, all is possible when you believe in the I'm possible. If something so magical can happen in one community, it can happen anywhere and everywhere. For such a time as this is our story. It's proof that no act of kindness is too small to make a difference and change a life, and that anyone can make a lasting impact and even change the world through kind actions. Why not us? Why not now? We invite you to write the future chapters of our story with us. This is our moment. This is our time. Believe the goodness. See the magic. Be the reason for the miracle to come. The pen is now ours to write the most beautiful chapters yet.